Hello my dears, been a little while but I thought I'd update while I'm having my little break from cosplay mental season. Cosplay is going quite well, lots of design work going on. It's going to be a bit of rush to get them all done by the events I'm attending. I'm doing one based on manga and one based on Marvel, but no spoilers because I don't like to reveal my costumes until they are complete and ready to be worn in their full glory. So recently, I have been going to cinema a little bit. I saw Gangster Squad, which was quite a nicely made film, a lot more entertaining than I thought it was going to be, and had quite a good cast. I never really paid much attention to people like Ryan Gosling, but he was actually really good in the movie, so I enjoyed it a lot. Nice mixture of kind of action and satire. Just kind of came together nicely. It was well plotted, nicely edited, well filmed, you know, decent film. And then I went to go see Zero Dark 30, an amazing film, absolutely brilliant, but one to only enjoy if you like political thrillers, particularly 2.5-hour political thrillers, which I do enjoy, unlike the woman who was sitting 2 seats past me and clearly was not enjoying the hunt for Osama bin Laden and kept getting her iPhone out to check the time, and by the last half an hour of the film was just playing on it. It's like, oh, these poor women that go and see these films with their boyfriends to try and be good and then annoy us that actually generally like a different kind of cinema by playing Angry Birds on your iPhone in the movie. I didn't really want to tell her off because her boyfriend was kind of sitting next to me and really didn't want to get into a fight in the cinema. So I just kind of grinned and bared it. But Zero Dark 30, brilliant film, wonderfully paced, very intense, very truth. It's like a truer kind of reveal of what probably did go down, and it's not black and white, it's completely grey area. Like, nobody's good, nobody's bad, everyone's trapped in the circumstances, the situation and the laws of the country that is being affected by this hunt for bin Laden, the politics, the terrorism, the kind of anti-Americanism versus that very patriotic and kind of America's hunt to kind of show itself in this wonderful light. When a film like this comes out and you see that even they had to make tough and harrowing and sometimes even bad decisions, but eventually one woman's determination meant that the right decision was made and the right thing happened. It was wonderfully paced, wonderfully acted, really good, and had the wonderful cameo from Mr. John Barrowman in it. Best little movie scene ever. I knew he was going to be in it, had no idea he was going to play in it. I just knew at some point during this movie he would turn up. He kind of turned up as an attractive man in suit at a board meeting. At first he only kind of went, I was like, oh, John Barrowman's not even going to get a line. But then he got 2 lines later on in the film, and it's like, yay, 2 lines of John Barrowman in your attractive suit. So I've come to a conclusion. Either Captain Jack Harkness is so cool that he infiltrated the government, and our Captain Jack Harkness actually had a part in tracking down and capturing Osama bin Laden. No matter how small it was, Captain Jack was there to save humanity from terrorism. My other theory, depending on which fandom I'm squeeing over, is Merlin. Merlin is so badass and so villainous with his amazing ability to create conspiracies and cover-ups. He has infiltrated much further than, I don't even remember the city that Arrow is based in, but much further than the conspiracies you're going on there. He is actually rooting himself in American government to profit from terrorism, to keep his reign of power and intrigue and possible evilness on the go. So apart from conspiracy theories on what John Barrowman is doing for the American government and the world of terrorism, good or bad, I've also been to the theatre. I saw The Judas Kiss with Rupert Everett, which is the story of the final days of Oscar Wilde. So very much like the movie, but instead of the whole kind of life of meeting Bosie and all the way to the end of it, it was just 2 scenes. It was the first act was the scene where Bosie, Robbie and Wilde are in the hotel room waiting for the police to finally take Oscar away, and kind of the events that lead up to that moment. And then the end is what happens when he's out of prison and how the relationship between Wilde and Bosie finally comes to an end, and Oscar finally has that revelation that even as man as genius as him, as talented and as inspiring as Oscar Wilde, could be so completely clouded by love and lust. Bosie was the ideal of attractiveness, of perfection to him, and it blinded him to his manipulations and his arrogance, which was one of Oscar Wilde's downfalls. It's quite interesting watching a film like that, well, a theatre production like that, because now in our society, Oscar Wilde is revered. And if he had known that, I think he would have spent his final days being a much happier person. I would love for Oscar Wilde to look back and see that nobody remembers him for being gay. We all remember him for a fantastic poet and playwright, like a true, like, literary classic. And that's a nice way to, but it is really tragic watching someone you revere so much in your culture and what was happening to him then. And it's also tragic to know back then you went to prison for being gay, and like even 100 years like later from Wilde's death, he would have had such a different fate. And it's just terrifying how the world has kind of changed, and all like always makes me think about how back in the day when you had like the Greeks and being gay was perfectly fine, and it isn't until the introduction of Christianity into the Western world that, you know, homosexuality started becoming a taboo and a punishable offence, which is a shame because I bet there's so many talented people out there that are still being trapped within like these worlds. A good story is Luke Evans, who famously came out and then they stopped casting him in Hollywood main roles and asked him if he would kind of maybe step back in the closet and maybe denounce him being gay, because they can't really give a leading man role to a gay actor. And it's just like, oh, today's society, what are you like? Why are you still trying to closet people? It's like nobody cares. Luke Evans is a fine British man, very attractive. I don't care if he's gay. If he's playing a straight man in a movie, I'm still going to be there to go, oh, you're very fine. That's about it for my little catch-up. I hope you're all doing well, and I'm going to go back to being artistic and creative like a mental. I've got 2 weeks to finish these cosplays. So until then, take care. Bye-byes.